the ready-made here has an interesting twist, because most of the original ready-mades were lost or destroyed, because Duchamp, Man Ray, the other artists were interested in the creative act, and they didn't always take care that the original object would remain. They moved from country to country, escaping war, geographic relocation. Yes, the original object was broken, thrown out. Duchamp's sister is cleaning out his studio in Paris when he moved to New York and threw out the original bicycle wheel, for example. So in the 1960s, when interest in Duchamp is growing, he has his first retrospective in Pasadena in the United States in 1963. This is the era of the multiple work of art. And Arturo Schwarz, together with Duchamp and Man Ray, had the idea to replicate their works of art. So here you have an editioned ready-made. So it's a twist. It's a custom-made ready-made. So these artists are revisiting their original idea and turning it on its head. That's right. It's a big question in art from the 1960s. The original versus the replica. Appropriation art. The multiple. So these objects raise many questions. And as Duchamp, he didn't want us to make a cult object. He wanted us to reinvent ourselves each time. That's conceptual art, to question and reinvent each time and be relevant to your time. That was important. When we bring works of art into a museum, we, in a sense, mummify them or museumify them, and that's taking away from them a certain active component, because we're not going to allow the children or the visitors to turn that wheel. But originally Duchamp had these ready-mades around his studio apartment, and he would like to turn the wheel and see the light play on the spokes of the bicycle wheel as if it were his fireplace. So there is something about taking it into the museum that kills the objects a little bit. But on the other hand, that was the action of the ready-made. When you take a urinal that is one of many out of a hardware store and put it in the gallery, that is the action where he's saying that the context and the choice of the artist are at the center. And our interpretation gives the work its meaning. He wrote a very beautiful piece called The Creative Act, Duchamp, and there he talks about the fact that the viewer, the audience, is the one who makes the work of art. Without the viewer, the work of art is not completed at all. We see the echoes of Duchamp, Man Ray, and Mata in many of the artists in the Hungarian section, but it is not copycat art. I'm very happy to see. I mean, there's a real contribution and reinterpretation. For example, I saw one work called Red E Made. So the red relates to the communist history, and then there's an added meaning, and I think Duchamp would have liked that work very much.